Hey orchestra students, this is lesson 25. Today we're going to be reviewing the note names F natural and C natural and learning the C major scale, which uses those finger patterns. And for your homework this week, you're going to upload a video of yourself playing the C major scale, which I will teach you during this lesson. Please check the timestamps below so that you can jump to when your lesson segment begins based on whether you're a violin or a cello student. Gather what you need, and let's regroup in a few minutes. Welcome, violinists. Please open your book up to page 32, where we will be reviewing F natural. Once your book is ready, I want you to remind yourself of this 1-2 pattern where your first and second fingers touch, and that's a half step distance between the 1 and 2 and a whole step between the 2 and 3. When we put that onto our fingerboard on the D string, 1 and 2 will touch, so they'll be really close together, and the second finger will not be on the tape. This 1 and 2 touch together like that. Start with your first finger, drop the second finger. So let's play number 126. It's at the top of page 32, and it's a nice F natural pattern. 1 and 2 touch. Ready, set, 126, and play. Check your fingers, make sure that 1 and 2 are touching. First finger makes a box. Second finger lands right next to it, not up on the tape, half step away. And then let's review burnt cross buns. We're gonna play F natural, E, D, 2, 1, 0. 2 with 1 and 2 touching, 1 and then 0. Listen while I play, and then you can try it on your own. F natural, E, D. So let's have you pause and practice on the D string, burnt cross buns, F natural, E, D. Now let's jump over to page 33. Top of the page is a review of the C natural, which we learned last week. It's the same fingering as F natural, but we're putting those fingers onto the A string now. So find your A string, start with your first finger on the first finger tape, drop your second finger right next to it. Once again, that's our 1-2 shape. If it was a C sharp, it would be 2 and 3 touching. C natural, half step from B. Listen while I play number 130. Let's have you pause and practice and try number 130 on your own. C natural, 1 and 2 touch. And let's review burnt cross buns on the A string. It's the same fingering as what we just did over on the D string. C, B, A. 1 and 2 touch, set it up. Ready to play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, ready and go. So that's a review of the fingerings F natural and C natural, where 1 and 2 are a half step apart. Next, we're going to move on to page 34 and learn something called the C major scale, which will use those fingerings. Top of page 34, we see something called the C major scale. We also see a yellow box that says the key of C major. All notes are natural, so there are no sharp signs in that key signature. So we need to use our F natural finger pattern and our C natural finger pattern. That means that you're not going to ever be putting your second finger on your second finger tape. We'll never have the 2 and 3 touching in the C major scale or in the key of C major. 1 and 2 are going to touch with the new finger pattern. Look at number 135 and point to all the instances where you see half step. There's a little bracket and then there's the fraction half. And that's pointing out where those fingers need to be close every time. The F natural and the C natural. Listen while I play. I'm starting with 3 fingers on the G string, otherwise known as C. Come into playing position and just try the transition from 3 on the G string to your open D, like this. Ready, set, try that now. Good, so that's the only note that's on the G string is our note named C, which is the 3 fingers on G. Make sure that you're not accidentally playing F sharps and C sharps. If you did, it would sound like this. That doesn't sound like our normal pattern of whole and half steps for a major scale. Instead, 1 and 2 touch. So let's have you pause and practice all of number 135, the C major scale. And then when you're ready, I want you to go into Google Classroom and submit your homework assignment. You'll see it's a flip grid to record yourself playing number 135, the C major scale. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And until next time, happy practicing. Welcome, cello students. Let's have you get your books open to page 32. We're going to start with a review of F natural, which we've learned in previous lessons. F natural is performed on the D string with your 1 and 2 fingers down. No third finger anymore. So your third finger is not going to go up to that tape. You're just going to have your first and second fingers about 1 inch apart. Start with your first finger, put it on your first finger tape, and then drop your second finger somewhere in between the first and third finger tape. And it should sound like this. Can you play and match my sound? Now let's try number 126 in the book. It's called Let's Read F Natural. And it has F natural, 2 fingers, as well as your first finger, E. Listen while I play. The F to the E, F, E, that's called a half step. And it's a closer distance than a whole step, which would be if you played F's, third finger to your first finger is a whole step. Instead, we're doing a half step here. Now, let's review how do we play burnt crossed buns on the D string. We're going to play F natural, E, D. F, E, D. Listen while I play. I'm going to have you pause and practice. I want you to practice both number 126 at the top of the page and then burnt crossed buns with your F natural on the D string. And regroup when you're ready to move on to page 33. Now let's move on to reviewing our C natural, which we learned last week. It's the same fingering of your 1 and 2, no third finger. 1 and 2 are now going to go on the A string. So set up your first finger and then your second finger. Half step is the intervallic sound, but it's going to be about an inch or a little less than an inch away from your first finger. Match my sound. And now let's play number 130 together. Look at the top of page 33. It's all C, C, C the whole time. Ready, set, 130, go. Now let's play burnt cross buns on the A string. We're going to play C, B, A, 2, 1, 0. Set up your 1 and 2, no third finger. Ready, set, burnt cross buns. Next, we're going to move on to page 34, and we're going to learn something called the C major scale. Looking at the top of page 34, we see something called the key signature for C major, and there are no sharp signs in that key signature. There's just your nice bass clef symbol. All notes are natural, so that means you need to perform whenever you have the key signature with no sharps in it. You need to play second fingers on the D and the A string. No third finger, because that would be a sharp note. There's no sharps here. And now we're going to learn the C major scale, number 135. The first note is a C, as we start our scales on the name of the note that matches the title of the scale. And you might recall learning notes on the G string. This is your 4 fingers on G, and it'll sound like this. Can you put your 4 fingers down, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all down, sync them into the G string, and match my sound? And now we're going to play C, C, then open D twice. My turn. Your turn. My turn. That is how the C major scale starts. The only notes that you have to play over on the G string are your 4 fingers for the first and very last note of the scale. Listen while I play and notice that I'm always going to be using my second finger. I'm not using any third fingers here. 4. 2 fingers, skip the 3. That's your C major scale. That was number 135. Remember, there's going to be no 3s at all in the whole scale. So when you play 4, 4, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, skip over your third finger. Sorry, third finger, none for you today. Go to 4 immediately after. 2, 2, 4, 4. And when you're coming down, 4, 4, skip the 3, and then play 2. That might take a little getting used to. Make sure you're paying attention to that. So I want you to pause and practice number 135, your C major scale. Special attention to the second finger, F natural and C natural. And when you're ready, I want you to go into Google Classroom and find the homework assignment where you're going to upload a Flipgrid video of yourself playing this C major scale, number 135. So I can check your fingerings and give you any feedback and let you know how you're doing. If you have any questions, please send me an email. And until next time, happy practicing.